Welcome to Blood Sugar Blueprint, the podcast where we tackle aging like it owes us money, and today we're giving your kidneys the break they've been begging for. If you're over 50 and still eating like you've got teenager kidneys, this one's your wake-up call. If your kidneys could talk after 50, they'd probably say, "Hey, we're still working down here, but go easy, will ya?" And honestly, that's fair. After decades of filtering every bite, sip, and questionable holiday casserole you've ever had, your kidneys deserve a little extra love, especially when it comes to protein. Because while protein is essential for staying strong and energized as you age, too much of the wrong kind can wear your kidneys down like a bad marriage. Quick heads up, if you're into aging with less pain, fewer pills, and organs that don't mutiny, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'll help you make sense of the chaos. Now here's the deal. Once you hit your 50s, your kidney function naturally starts to decline. That's just biology doing its thing. For some people, it's gradual and barely noticeable. For others, especially those with high blood pressure, diabetes, or a family history of kidney issues, that decline can get a little aggressive. And the foods you eat, especially protein-rich foods, can either help your kidneys coast through your golden years or drag them through a swamp of inflammation and overwork. See, protein creates waste. When you eat it, your body breaks it down into amino acids, useful stuff, but the leftover nitrogen gets turned into urea, which your kidneys have to filter out. Too much protein, too much urea. That means more work for your kidneys, especially if they're already clocking in at 60% capacity instead of the full 100. It's like asking a retiree to work a double shift every day. But not all proteins are created equal. Some types are especially harsh on aging kidneys, while others are gentler, easier to process, and still give you the building blocks you need to stay strong. So let's start with the 6 proteins you should seriously reconsider if your goal is to protect your kidneys and feel better, not worse, after eating. First up on the list of troublemakers, red meat. We're talking steak, pork chops, burgers, anything that comes from a 4-legged friend and ends up on your grill. Red meat is high in purines, which break down into uric acid, and that's bad news for your kidneys. Too much uric acid can contribute to gout and kidney stones, and the saturated fat doesn't help either. It also stimulates inflammatory pathways in the body, which can damage blood vessels, including the delicate ones inside your kidneys. If your idea of a good night involves a 16-ounce T-bone, it might be time to scale that back to an occasional treat instead of a Tuesday routine. Next up, firm, processed meats. And no, slapping the word turkey on a cold cut doesn't make it healthy. Bacon, ham, hot dogs, sausage, deli meats, these are all high in sodium, nitrates, and preservatives that add extra strain to your kidneys. The salt alone can raise blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for kidney disease. Plus, processed meats are often high in phosphorus additives, which can build up in the bloodstream when kidney function is impaired. Your kidneys have to work overtime just to process all the extras packed into that one slice of bologna.
Let's keep moving down the list of protein troublemakers, and next in line is cheese. Yep, our beloved cheddar, mozzarella, Gouda, brie. The gang's all here. Cheese is high in protein and saturated fat, but the real kicker for kidney health is its phosphorus and sodium content. Now, your body does need phosphorus, but too much, especially from animal-based sources, can cause problems if your kidneys aren't filtering like they used to. High phosphorus levels can pull calcium from your bones and deposit it into your blood vessels, leading to vascular calcification. Translation? It hardens your arteries and messes with your bones. Not exactly what we want past 50, and it's not just the fancy-aged cheeses either. Even the shredded stuff you toss on your salad can pack in way more sodium than you'd expect. If your kidney function is already slowing down, all that extra salt can lead to fluid retention, swollen ankles, and blood pressure that's got your doctor giving you the "we need to talk" look. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you: protein powders. Look, we get it. You're trying to stay strong, maintain muscle mass, maybe even keep up with those 30-year-olds at the gym. But most protein powders, especially whey, casein, or other animal-based ones, deliver a concentrated hit of protein that your kidneys have to scramble to deal with. Think of it like sending 20 packages to your doorstep in 1 hour and expecting your kidneys to sort, process, and ship them all without delay. If your kidney function is already compromised or even just a bit sluggish from age, that's a lot of unnecessary pressure. On top of that, many commercial protein powders come with additives, artificial sweeteners, and heavy metals. Yep, those aren't always filtered out during manufacturing. All of those things give your kidneys even more work. If you're sipping protein shakes like they're water, it might be time to reassess. The fifth protein you'll want to think twice about is chicken skin and dark poultry cuts. Now, chicken itself isn't terrible. It's actually one of the better animal proteins for kidney health in moderation. But when you keep the skin on or go for the dark meat, you're getting a lot more saturated fat than you probably realize. Saturated fat contributes to inflammation and can worsen underlying kidney issues. And when that crispy golden skin is seasoned with loads of salt and tossed in a deep fryer, that's a one-way ticket to kidney stress town. And last but definitely not least on the list of not-so-kidney-friendly proteins, shellfish. That's right. Shrimp, crab, lobster, scallops, basically anything that comes with a shell and a hefty price tag at the seafood counter. While shellfish are low in fat and high in protein, they're also extremely high in purines, which break down into uric acid. If you've ever had a gout flare-up, you already know how painful uric acid buildup can be. But even if you haven't, your kidneys are still responsible for filtering that uric acid. And if they're already running at 70%, it's not helping. On top of that, some shellfish can contain higher levels of environmental toxins and heavy metals, especially if they're farm-raised or harvested from polluted waters. That means your kidneys may not only be dealing with high-protein waste, they're also tasked with cleaning up industrial leftovers. Not ideal. So let's do a quick recap of the 6 proteins you want to cut back on or ditch entirely if you're over 50 and care about your kidney health. Red meat, processed meat, cheese, protein powders, dark poultry with skin, and shellfish. These all put a serious strain on your kidneys, either by increasing waste products, spiking sodium and phosphorus levels, or delivering inflammatory fats your kidneys don't want anything to do with. Now, before you panic and think we're suggesting a life of bland tofu and dry toast, don't worry. We've got some good protein options too. These next 4 are gentle on the kidneys, rich in nutrients, and still give your body the amino acids it needs to maintain strength, balance blood sugar, and support tissue repair. And no, they don't taste like cardboard. Let's start with one of the best protein choices for aging kidneys: plant-based protein from legumes. Think lentils, black beans, chickpeas, and peas. Unlike animal proteins, legumes are low in saturated fat and don't come with the same phosphorus overload. They're also packed with fiber, which helps reduce inflammation, balance blood sugar, and even lower blood pressure. 3 things your kidneys will throw a tiny party over. And here's the kicker: plant protein generates less nitrogen waste than animal protein. That means less pressure on your kidneys, especially when they're already a little worn out. Now, I know what some people are thinking. Beans give me gas. Yes, they can. But your gut will adjust over time, especially if you gradually increase fiber and pair it with enough water. Plus, better kidney health is worth a little musical accompaniment now and then, don't you think? Next on the good list is tofu and tempeh. These soy-based proteins get a bad rap sometimes, but they're actually nutritional powerhouses, especially when it comes to protecting your kidneys. Tofu is low in sodium, low in phosphorus, and still delivers complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs. Tempeh, which is fermented soy, adds the bonus of gut-friendly probiotics, which may even help reduce systemic inflammation, a key player in kidney disease progression. And no, eating tofu doesn't mean giving up flavor. You can sauté it, grill it, season it, marinate it. It's basically a flavor sponge. One day it's stir-fry, the next it's taco filling. Your kidneys won't know what hit them. The third kidney-friendly protein might surprise you: white-fleshed fish, like cod, tilapia, or flounder. Unlike shellfish, these mild, lean fish are low in purines and phosphorus, and they're easy to digest. They're also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, especially if you opt for cold water varieties like cod. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory and have been shown to reduce proteinuria. That's the leaking of protein into urine, which can be a sign of kidney damage. Just be sure to avoid fish that are heavily breaded, deep-fried, or loaded with sodium from marinades. A lightly seasoned fillet, baked or grilled, is perfect. Think of it like a spa day for your kidneys. The fourth kidney-friendly protein on our list is the mighty quinoa. It's not just a trendy grain from health blogs, it's a complete plant-based protein that's low in sodium, easy to digest, and rich in magnesium, which supports blood pressure and muscle health. For people over 50, quinoa checks a lot of boxes. It gives you sustained energy, doesn't spike your blood sugar, and won't overload your kidneys with waste. Plus, it cooks up fast. Just 15 minutes on the stove and you've got a versatile base for everything from breakfast bowls to veggie-packed dinners. What makes quinoa especially powerful is that it replaces the need for heavier proteins in a meal. Instead of steak and mashed potatoes, you could have a quinoa bowl with roasted veggies and a lemon tahini drizzle. It's filling, nourishing, and doesn't leave your kidneys filing a complaint. Now that we've covered the four safe, solid proteins, legumes, tofu, tempeh, white fish, and quinoa, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I actually use these without losing my mind in the kitchen? Good question. First, start with small swaps. If you're used to throwing chicken in every salad, try tossing in chickpeas or black beans instead. Roast them with a little olive oil, paprika, and garlic powder, and boom, flavor, protein, and way less kidney strain. If you're a meat and potatoes person, give grilled tofu or tempeh a shot. Slice it thin, marinate it in soy sauce, ginger, and a little honey, and then pan-sear it until golden. Serve it with roasted sweet potatoes and steamed greens. You'll be shocked how satisfying that combo is. For lunch, instead of a deli meat sandwich, go for a quinoa and veggie wrap with hummus and spinach. It's got protein, fiber, and enough flavor to make you forget about that sodium bomb cold cut you were eating before. And dinner? One of the simplest wins is a baked white fish fillet with lemon and herbs, served with a side of quinoa and grilled zucchini. Clean, easy on your kidneys, and downright delicious. You don't have to reinvent your entire meal plan overnight, just upgrade the proteins a little at a time. Alright, so you've cleared out the red meat, backed away from the bacon, and maybe even let your protein powder go live its best life in the back of the pantry. You've started working more plant-based proteins into your meals, and now you're asking the million-dollar question, when do I start to feel better? Here's the good news. Your body is incredibly responsive once you stop throwing wrenches in the gears. Within the first 1 to 2 weeks of changing your protein intake, many people notice less bloating and water retention. That's because your kidneys don't have to hold on to extra fluid to help process all that sodium and protein waste anymore. You may also notice that your blood pressure starts trending down, sometimes even before your next doctor's appointment. By the 3 to 4 week mark, you might start feeling more energetic and mentally clear. Your kidneys are no longer running a marathon every time you eat a meal, which means your body can redirect that energy elsewhere, like thinking clearly, walking a little farther, or waking up without feeling like a truck hit you. Around 6 to 8 weeks, many people report fewer symptoms like fatigue, swelling in the legs or ankles, and muscle cramps. If you've been dealing with chronic kidney disease or borderline function, this is when things start to get noticeably better. Your blood tests may reflect it too. Lower creatinine, better GFR numbers, improved electrolyte balance. It's not magic. It's just giving your body the tools it needs to heal. But let's be clear, this isn't a crash diet. You don't eat lentils for a week and expect your kidneys to high-five you. This is a long-game strategy. If you stick with it, the benefits keep compounding. Every smart food choice reduces strain on your kidneys, slows down damage, and gives your body more resilience. Think of it like finally switching from a beat-up lawnmower to a brand new one. Same job, way less noise. And while this all sounds clinical, don't underestimate how emotionally freeing it can be. When you're not constantly dealing with fatigue, pain, or scary lab results, you start to enjoy your life again. You go on that walk, you say yes to the day trip, you sleep better, you stop dreading your next lab test. It's not just kidney health, it's freedom. One of the reasons this approach works so well after 50 is that your body's entire system of filtering, healing, and repairing begins to slow down. It's not your fault. It's just the aging process. Your glomerular filtration rate, or GFR, naturally declines with age, which means your kidneys aren't clearing waste products as efficiently as they used to. In your 20s, you could eat a triple bacon cheeseburger, and your kidneys would just roll up their sleeves and get to work. At 60 degrees, they're calling in reinforcements, and there aren't many left. Not only is kidney function slower, but your tolerance for high nitrogen loads, like the ones that come from breaking down heavy proteins, is lower. When you eat red meat or slather cheese on everything, your body produces more urea, uric acid, and ammonia. That puts extra pressure on your kidneys to keep up, but guess what? They're already running on a tighter budget than they were a few decades ago. Another thing that changes with age is how your body handles phosphorus and potassium. Many high-protein animal products are loaded with phosphorus, which can build up in the blood when kidney function is impaired. This leads to itchy skin, bone loss, and hardening of the arteries. Over 50, your kidneys are less able to balance that load. That's why switching to plant-based proteins, ones that are naturally lower in phosphorus and easier to absorb, can feel like a breath of fresh air for your entire system. And if you've been told you have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, protein choices matter even more. Diabetes is one of the leading causes of kidney disease, and animal proteins can contribute to insulin resistance and inflammation. On the flip side, beans, tofu, and quinoa are gentler on blood sugar and reduce systemic stress. That means less glucose bouncing around in your bloodstream and more steady energy throughout the day. Here's the kicker. Making these changes doesn't mean sacrificing muscle. People over 50 can absolutely maintain and even build muscle with plant-based and low-purine proteins. The key is consistency and making sure you're pairing your protein with whole, unprocessed foods that support digestion and absorption. So here's the big picture. Your kidneys are incredible, hard-working organs, but after 50, they need a bit of backup. Every smart food choice you make gives them a breather. Cutting back on red meat, processed deli slices, shellfish, and overly processed protein powders doesn't mean giving up your favorites forever. It just means protecting your future. Swapping in plant-based proteins, tofu, quinoa, and white fish is like trading in a jalopy for a hybrid. Same destination, way smoother ride. And let's be honest, this isn't just about kidneys. This is about your energy, your freedom, your ability to walk up a flight of stairs without wincing, and your peace of mind the next time you get lab work done. You deserve to feel strong, clear, and in control, not like your body's falling behind. We heard about a guy in his late 60s, let's call him Dave, who was constantly dealing with fatigue, swollen ankles, and high blood pressure. His doctor gave him the usual warnings: cut sodium, drink more water. But no one ever told him the proteins on his plate might be the hidden culprit. When Dave swapped out his daily breakfast sausage and protein shakes for a veggie scramble and some tofu stir-fry, everything changed. Within weeks, he noticed his energy bouncing back. 2 months later, his blood pressure stabilized, his labs improved, and for the first time in years, he felt in charge of his health again. That's the kind of shift you're aiming for. And if Dave can do it, so can you. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every time you choose a better protein, your kidneys get to breathe a little easier. And trust me, they'll return the favor in spades. Thanks for tuning in to Blood Sugar Blueprint, where we serve science, sanity, and just enough sass to make health fun again. Subscribe if you haven't already. Your kidneys will thank you later.